Hello, Nigeria. There's no better place to be, so don't you ever change that dial. What's up, everybody? It's Kabam Zasukwa, and you're watching Hello, Nigeria.
Hello and welcome back to Hello Nigeria. It's time for our top story. We're counting down excitedly for some and not really enthusiastic about the elections for others. But we're looking at 2019 elections and the way forward. Now, joining us to discuss this in detail, we have the Center Director for the Center for International Advanced and Professional Studies. His name is Professor Anthony KILA. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure to have you here.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so now we have some statistics for the 2019 election, quite alarming statistics. We are seeing that we have 98 million adults and only 29 million voters. So that shows that only 1 in 3 adults vote in Nigeria.
Yes.
So it does seem that we're not really as interested in voting as we should be. Why is this so? And are we going to see a change in 2019?
Well, two questions together. Why are we not voters generally? Number one is perhaps because a lot of people do not actually believe that their vote counts. There is a huge segment of the population that think that their votes do not count, so they don't go out. There's another segment of the population who should be voting, who feels the voting thing is not for them. You know, it's too rowdy, it's too messy, it's for thugs and street people, and they just leave it to them. But then there's another chunk of people who would like to vote, but the process of registering and actually voting is not very user-friendly. I know a few people, you know, who, and I've read about more people who give up because they've gone to the registration centers and they couldn't get their card and they just got tired of it and left it alone. And it's a bit tough if you're telling your employer, you know, 3 times to take permission to go and register and it's not happening. So those are the sort of 3 reasons. You know.
So would you say that the system is designed to discourage people from even taking part in voting? Because like you mentioned, in other parts of the world, they make it as easy and as seamless as possible to encourage people to come out and exercise their civic duties. But here in Nigeria, they make it very discouraging. So is it designed that way so that more people don't come out to vote?
Well, I am not... I'm not a big fan of conspiracy theory. You know, I do not believe that little men sitting in a room to make life difficult for us. I think we're more incompetent than evil. Okay. I think there is a fundamental flaw on our system as a union, as a country, you know, the state, the legal state. There's not been a clear vision of citizenry. We do not have people who sit down and say, let us create citizens. You see, if we had that kind of vision, and at a young age, you start to create citizens, there will be a sense of knowing that voting is not just a right, but it's a duty. And that the whole electoral process, that the people in charge of it, will have a sense of saying, let us make sure people can actually vote. And also, if we had that kind of sense of citizenry, people would organize themselves to make sure they have their card. But I think behind it, one, because of this lack of, you know, civic sense, which is a huge thing. Because it is for voters, but it's also for people elected. There are a lot of people, you know, people elected don't come from mass. Because even they don't have that status of citizenry. When they get to office, they don't act that way. If you go to any public office, you will really see that this chap there, this man, this woman, does not really believe she's there to serve me. You know, she thinks, I'm there to serve her.
Actually, you're there to serve, exactly.
So it's that kind of, we need to reinvent the state. We need to create active citizens. That is what we need to try to create.
All right, speaking about creating active citizens, we have the highest rate of PVC not collected. Lagos and Oyo. Lagos has 5.5 million workers. So these people have actually registered, but they're not even collecting.
They're not even collecting the PVC.
And Oyo State has 2.7 million workers. So totally we have 706,000 PVC not collected. And we have farmers, we have fishermen, and tons of numbers. I can't even start reading out the statistics. So basically, all this we're saying is boiled Now, people are not voting because they don't believe in the system.
Yeah, but
Is that the same reason why they're not collecting their PVC?
Yeah, partly so, yes. Partly because they don't believe in it. But I think what we need to change that.
I think also another thing is the difficulty in the registration process.
Yes.
So they tell you that you register somewhere, if you register in that place, and something happens, you have to move.
You have to move from
can't
there.
vote there.
Yeah.
So people just think, you know, it's a Herculean task trying
to do it,
exercise
definitely.
my right to
worth
vote.
it at the end of the day.
You see, there are two things we need to do to sort of solve this problem. We need to have a group of people who would dedicate their time to say it is important that we vote. It is important that we get people to vote. I think it was on your lovely show, we said before that if people want to change this country, or even if they want to influence it, the first thing they need to do is to be able to vote.
That's right.
And once they can vote, then they can now go and talk with the people running for office, write them. So we need to create those kind of active citizens. We said earlier on that, you know, the last time we were here, your show is seen by very intelligent, articulate young people. Those people need to see themselves as influencers of their own lives.
Right.
And what they need to do, you know, starting from now, if we can get every one person watching this show, make sure they're registered, and then get 10 other people to register, and then start to talk about governance. Not partisan followership, but governance. You know, the idea to think that I am an IT person, for example, I'm a project manager, I'm a business developer. What are the things that I need from the state in the next 2 to 4 years? And how can I make it happen? You see, if we have that kind of sense, it will also affect the people who are doing policies or who are doing operations like registration of voters. I would like, for example, today to throw out there, if anybody has a fantastic idea, let them write to you and we can both look at it together, maybe give them a prize, to find modalities in which to reduce the challenges of voters registration.
Beautiful. Now, we know that there's some people out there who might want to call in and have questions with regards to this. Now, just to let you know that Professor KILA does not work for INEC, so please don't ask him questions about where your PVC is or the fact that someone at your center was rude to you. However, he can help you with questions pertaining to the elections or how you can get more involved. Our phone numbers are scrolling on your TV screens. Please avail yourselves of these numbers and call us and ask us questions, or perhaps you just want to share something. Maybe we want to ask you this afternoon, what has been your experience with regards to registering for your PVC or collecting your PVCs, your permanent voters cards for those who had temporary ones? We'll continue the conversation with Professor KILA, but feel free at any time to interrupt our conversation to have your say. Now, Olive said something earlier on about with regards to the PVCs collection and perhaps not just your vote, yes, I was trying to remember that, not just your votes counting, but also being active, even in registering for a political, as a member, a carrying member of a political party, attending meetings, voting at primary level. How important is this, and why are we not passing on that message as strongly as getting your PVCs?
Well, it's very important to do that. The message is not being passed because really, the people who are in the room, in the partisan room, do not want other people to come there.
Exactly.
So, you know, that's the first thing. And if you encourage people to do primaries, then somebody's going to outshine the present ones. So really, it's part of the problem we have. The people running governance are just partisan. And the system is new and it has not been framed very well. Ideally, we should have had a group that I once called the ANC, you know, the Association of Non-Contenders. People who have no interest in running for office, who will just sit together and set a very good framework so that the rest of the world would work within that framework, and they would guarantee a good system for everybody, regardless of who's in power or regardless of who wants to get there. So we're not getting people to say, come and join parties or come to primaries, because they don't want them. They want the people who are there wants to stay there. But that said, I think people need to make a step forward themselves, especially young people. You know, young people say all this and about, you know, they want to be part of it. And nobody gives you power. You grab it. Nobody gives you influence. Young people need to organize themselves and their ideas. New people, not even young people.
Okay.
You know, I met a fantastic chap on my flight just a few weeks ago, you know, a retired accountant.
All right. You give us the details of this chap you met online, but let's take a call from Shibaru from Lagos. Good afternoon, Shibaru.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Please go ahead.
Please, my question is that I registered somewhere at APATHY, but I'm no longer living here now. I'm living at Koko now. How can I put can I change my card to that effect as I'm living at Koko now? How do I do about it?
All right, thank you very much. I'm glad that you're asking these questions. It shows that you're really interested and you want to see how you can redeem yourself. I don't know if you can help with that. Like we mentioned, Professor KILA does not work with INEC. But sometimes it can help you with useful tips.
But there is something, though, at least in Lagos State, there's a help desk that was set up by the Nigerian intervention movement, the Third Force, to help give information about voters.
Yeah.
So if he can find that help desk and send the question to them, they might be able to give it. The help desk of the
Okay, we will try to
voters.
get the information of the help desk, and probably by tomorrow we'll share it here.
You
on
share
the
it as
show.
well. Yeah, that's fine. Yes.
And hopefully, I think it's high time we also brought officials from INEC as well.
Well, yes, to meet them.
It would be great to balance that out, and people like Shibaru who have questions like this
Can talk to them.
You know, talk to them.
We need to engage INEC and perhaps help them because, again, I don't believe in little people, doing conspiracy. Maybe they have problems, but they need to come out and say what problems are there and what we as a people can do to solve this problem, to work with them. Yes.
All right, you were telling us a story about a young chap you met on the
Oh,
phone.
yes. Well, not too young. He's a retired accountant. He was over 60. And I'm trying to encourage him to get involved in politics because he has brilliant ideas. He has not done it before. So he recognized me and he told me, and I said, yeah, why not? This is what you need to do, and this is how you need to join. So it doesn't have to be young people. It should be just young people. I mean, young people are great because, they're full of energy. We should find a way to encourage ourselves being people who are not in partisan politics yet, to get into it. So whether you're young or you're new to the scene, if you're interested, you should find ways of turning your interest into action. And perhaps that conscious effort of somebody who became politically involved for very clear reason might just be what we need to change the country. I'm sure if any one of you two ladies here were to get involved in something that has to do with information or broadcasting, if that is the reason why you go there, you'll be very focused on it.
Exactly.
Because you know exactly what you're looking for instead of just being there generally for opposition.
All right, brilliant. Now, we've been speaking to Professor KILA from CIAPS, and he's still very much with us here in the studio. We'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue our conversation. We're looking at election 2019, and we'll do this quite often on Hello Nigeria because collectively, we must ensure that we move Nigeria forward. And one of the ways we can do this is by being very active in the electoral process. We're going on a quick break right now. We're still here. Please keep your phone calls coming. We'd love to speak with you as well. And let's get talking. This is Hello Nigeria. See you soon.
It's a Nigeria. That means hello Nigeria in Tree.
Hi, my name's Amanda Potelwa. I'm from South Africa.
My name is Mimi Akinkube.
Hello, my name is Candace Nkotgisek. I'm from Cameroon.
My name is Idori Nanang.
My name is Efwa Osei.
And the most interesting thing I found about Nigeria is the extraordinary hustling energy.
And make sure you keep watching
Hello Nigeria.
We do it all for you. We do it all for you. Oh.
Back, we're still speaking with the Center Director for the Center for Intelligence and International Advanced and Professional Studies. I don't know why I keep calling that intelligence. Dr. Professor KILA from CIAPS. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, we've spoken so much about some of the challenges and the way forward with regards to PVCs in 2019. Statistics shows that 50% of Nigerians are below the age of 18. Now, the Electoral Act provides that for you to be able to vote, you have to be above 18. How are we able to merge and remedy these two? Some people have advocated that we should bring down the age of the voters. In fact, someone actually once said that if someone as young as 15 could get married, then someone as young as 15 should be able to vote. Are you in support of us adjusting the age?
I don't know. We haven't even gotten the ones who are the right age to vote yet. You're bringing new people into it. It really doesn't matter. I mean, I don't know. We need to see. I mean, even older people are getting younger in their mind and in their behavior these days. I see a lot of 30 years old. Oh, yeah,
There's some
absolutely.
people that are older. Are you saying 30 is old?
Well, 30 is not young if you look at the
young.
mortality.
Young.
But that's what I'm saying. But 30 is very young, but a lot of 30 actually behave as if they're 19 these days.
Okay.
There's a lot of 40s who behave as if they're 20s. So I'm not very sure that this thing of 16 years old to vote, it's actually a good idea.
So how do we now regulate underage voting in 2019? Do we have any suggestions for that?
Well, we have ideas, but I'm not sure it's going to happen. I mean, the age thing is going to take a while to regulate it. Personally, I'm not so much in a hurry to get 16 years old people to start voting.
But in northern parts, you've seen pictures of people who are even younger than 10.
That's 12.
But you see, that is a crime. That is not a norm. It's very strange. These are the content that happens also in this country. We're treating it like a phenomenon. It's not a phenomenon, it's a criminal act.
That's right.
They should take the picture of that thing, do a forensic, look for all the people who have participated, who has allowed it to happen, and charge them. If we're serious people, we're not.
I think the problem starts from the fact that we don't even have a database of everybody in Nigeria. So how are you even going to be able
People
to
always say that, but we do. We don't even use what we have.
Off air, you spoke about the BVN and
yes,
how
I'll tell you. Yes,
that.
I have a solution in my mind. If I had my way, what I would do is I will link the PVC to the BVN. We say we don't have data, but there's one data in Nigeria that is unique. That is one data that you only have one and you can't have two of it. It's BVN.
But how do you deal with people in rural areas? Not all of them have BVN. I know someone, I was speaking to someone, I'm trying to remember, okay, the lady who did my hairdresser.
Yes.
I was like, oh, let me transfer the money. She said she doesn't have a bank account.
She doesn't have a bank
This is
account.
a woman in Lagos.
Yes.
So how do you deal with not having these people living in rural areas being...
It doesn't even matter, even Lagos. Let us say people who have no BVN.
Yes.
Let us start by this way. You see, voting is not just a right. It's a duty. It's not just because I'm 18, let me vote. No, it shouldn't be that way. It's a duty that somebody consciously say, I am going to vote. And let me be ruthless. In my mind, if you do not have BVN, you have no reason voting. Not everybody should be voting. It's people who are conscious enough not to misunderstand things, not to throw away their rights that should be voting. The idea of general representation is an abuse, is a fraud perpetuated by partisan politicians to get people who lack understanding, influence, and desire to participate onto the voters list so that they can buy them with a little. My invitation to the elite, those who cannot be bought out easily, is to get together and outcrowd those that can be bought easily so that we can have a government that is accountable and that reasons with its peers, a government of peers. You see, at the moment, part of the problem we have is that the kind of system we run is not a government of peers. It's a government of father to child. And until we change that, we're going to keep having problems.
All right. Thank you so much, Professor KILA. We'll speak with Professor Anthony KILA of SIAPS. And we'll keep sending home this message. We'll keep talking about the elections 2019. And we'll keep spreading the word on what can be done better. Thank you very much for joining us.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love her.